You've stepped into your own power and chosen to walk a path that aligns with your truth, independence, and self-respect. This decision hasn't gone unnoticed. In fact, your person is deeply affected by it. They are watching from a distance, emotionally stirred, confused, and increasingly obsessed with your presence, even in your absence. Your strong sense of self-worth and the boundaries you've firmly put in place have become incredibly magnetic. To them, your dignity is not just admirable, it's romantically irresistible. The more you stand your ground and focus on your growth, the more they are drawn to you. You may not be doing anything overt to pull them in, but your energy speaks louder than words ever could. Despite your efforts to maintain distance and protect your peace, you might find yourself caught in waves of unexpected emotion. Music, especially certain songs or lyrics, may suddenly feel like messages meant just for you. These synchronicities can feel almost supernatural, lines in songs echoing thoughts you've buried, melodies stirring old memories. It's as if the universe is trying to bridge the silence between you two. And you're not imagining it, your person is feeling it too. They're lying awake at night, replaying memories, praying to the universe for a second chance, and silently calling out to your soul. The bond between you hasn't broken, if anything, it's only become more palpable in the quiet. You might be sensing their energy heavily, particularly an intense, sensual pull that seems to rise out of nowhere. This is their longing manifesting, strong and persistent. There are moments when the signs become undeniable. Perhaps you've noticed their name popping up in unexpected places, dreamt of them vividly, or felt an unshakable urge to check your phone, only to find nothing. These signs aren't random. They're the result of their deep emotional focus on you, the spiritual thread still tying your energies together. They want to communicate, to reach out, to break the silence. But something holds them back, the fear of rejection, the uncertainty of whether it's too late. At the same time, the pressure is mounting. Your person feels the clock ticking. Each day that passes without resolution feels like a missed opportunity, and they are becoming increasingly aware that if they don't act soon, they may lose you for good. If they once chose another path, be it another person, a career move, or emotional distance, they are now filled with regret. They see how that choice impacted you, and it hurts them more than they expected. The grass wasn't greener. In fact, without your presence, everything has lost its color. Now they want to choose you, wholeheartedly and without hesitation. They're realizing that no external situation or temporary distraction can compare to the depth of the connection they feel with you. This time, they want to prioritize you above everything else. They're working on themselves, slowly but surely building their self-worth so they can come to you not just with emotion, but with stability and intention. This isn't just about physical attraction or missing your presence. It's about a soul-deep connection that refuses to be ignored. They can't help but be drawn to you, again and again, no matter how far they try to wander. It doesn't matter who they're around or where life takes them, they always find themselves thinking of you, being reminded of you, and eventually being pulled back to you. There's an almost magnetic force between you that defies logic. It's not something they can explain or control, it just is. Now, they're beginning to understand that they can't let anything stop them. They don't want to. The fears, doubts, or outside influences that may have blocked them before are starting to fall away. They're feeling more confident, more determined, and more ready to show up in the way you always deserved. They see that this connection is rare, powerful, and worth fighting for. And no matter what it takes, they are preparing to return, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, and wholeheartedly. You've done the work on yourself. You've shown strength, grace, and resilience. Now, the universe is aligning things in subtle ways, nudging both of you toward a moment of reckoning, of truth, and perhaps of reunion. The journey hasn't been easy, and the road ahead may still hold its challenges. But what's clear is that your person is awakening, transforming, and coming to terms with what they truly want, you. And this time, they don't want to run, hide, or wait. This time, they want to come home. I feel like we used to talk all the time, every single day, without fail. You were the first person I wanted to share my thoughts with, and the one I could count on to listen, to care, to just be there. Now, things feel so different. The silence between us is louder than any words, and it hurts more than I thought it would. I miss you deeply, more than I can put into words. You weren't just someone I spent time with, you were my best friend, my person. Whenever we were together, I felt like a kid again, like all the heaviness of life disappeared for a while. You brought a joy into my life that I hadn't felt in such a long time. Being around you made me feel alive, seen, and understood. You had this unique ability to bring out the best in me. But at the same time, you also brought to the surface parts of myself I didn't even know existed, parts that needed healing, attention, and love. In your presence, I began to see the cracks in my foundation, the unresolved pain I had buried for so long. You made me realize I had unhealed wounds, and while that was scary, it was also the beginning of a kind of transformation I didn't know I needed. Through your love, your care, and your gentle guidance, you helped me start the process of healing. You didn't push me or judge me, you simply loved me as I was while still showing me what I could become. I've never experienced a love like that before. It was pure, deep, and unconditional in a way that challenged me to be better. And to be honest, I didn't always know how to handle it. At times, I reacted in ways I now regret. I pushed you away when I should have pulled you closer. I let fear and insecurity dictate my actions, and in doing so, I hurt you, and that's something I wish I could take back every single day. Looking back now, I realize that before you, I carried so many toxic patterns. I used to blame others for my sadness, my pain, and all the chaos inside of me. I thought if people around me changed, then I'd feel better. But you taught me a different truth. You taught me that healing starts from within, that instead of blaming or cursing others, I need to take responsibility, to work on myself, to face the wounds of my past and start fixing the damage. You showed me that it's possible to be free from the pain, to be fearless and strong, not just on the outside, but emotionally and at a soul level. That kind of strength is the one I aspire to now, thanks to you. I can't help but feel stupid when I think about everything I did wrong. The things I said in anger or fear, the way I shut down instead of opening up, I see it all so clearly now. I had a chance, a real chance to prove my love for you, to show up for you the way you showed up for me. And I ruined it. I took for granted the rare and beautiful connection we had, and now I'm afraid it might be too late. I'm terrified that from your side, things will never be the same again. That I broke something we can't fix. I wish I could go back and tell my past self to just breathe, to trust you, to be honest about what I was feeling instead of hiding behind pride and fear. I wish I had told you how much you meant to me every single day. I wish I had apologized sooner, fought harder, and loved you better. But most of all, I wish you knew how much of a difference you made in my life. Even if things never go back to the way they were, you'll always be the person who changed me for the better. You'll always be the one who opened my eyes to the truth of who I am and what I need to heal. You made me feel safe, loved, and accepted, and that's a gift I'll carry with me forever. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if we'll ever find our way back to each other in the way we once were. But I hope, with all my heart, that you'll remember the good between us. I hope you'll remember how much I loved you, even if I didn't always know how to show it. And maybe, just maybe, if life ever gives us another chance, I'll be ready. I'll be wiser, more aware, and more grateful. But until then, please know that I miss you. I still think about you every day. And no matter what happens, you will always have a special place in my heart, for the love you gave, the lessons you taught, and the healing you helped me begin. Your partner is currently experiencing a deep emotional awakening, one that has brought with it an overwhelming sense of regret and sorrow. They're beginning to truly grasp the weight of their past actions, and it's hitting them harder than they expected. For a long time, they rejected the love you gave so freely and unconditionally. In moments when you reached out with tenderness, patience, and sincerity, they turned away, pushing your affection aside. At the time, they may not have fully understood the depth of what you were offering, or perhaps they were too caught up in their own fears and wounds to receive it. But now, with silence between you growing louder by the day, they feel the painful consequences of their choices. That silence is not just empty space, it is tension, regret, and a loud reminder of everything they lost. What's beginning to torment them most is the clarity that comes with distance. They now see how their behavior, especially the hurtful words and manipulative tendencies, impacted you on a deep emotional level. Their actions weren't just momentary lapses in judgment, they chipped away at your spirit and left you questioning your own worth in the relationship. It's a realization that is both humbling and agonizing for them. They can now feel the weight of the emotional pain you carried, often in silence, as you continued to give your all while receiving so little in return. This awareness is not just intellectual, it's emotional, and it's hitting them in their quietest moments. As the relationship continues to shift, both physically and energetically, they are struggling to cope. They can sense that something has changed, that the foundation they once took for granted is no longer stable. This transformation is unsettling for them. The love that was once a constant, something they always assumed would be there, is now uncertain. The security they once felt, despite their actions, has begun to crumble. It is this shift, this unspoken change in energy, that they find themselves unable to process. The realization that they may have pushed away something so genuine and rare is becoming too much to bear. Loneliness is now settling into their life in ways they hadn't anticipated. Even when surrounded by others, they feel isolated, disconnected, and emotionally adrift. None of the connections around them seem to matter as much anymore. They are beginning to see clearly that the emotional bond they had with you was not only significant, it was irreplaceable. You stand out as their true counterpart, the one person who saw them fully, loved them deeply, and stood by them even when they were difficult to love. In their eyes, no one else comes close to offering that kind of connection. Guilt is also playing a major role in their emotional state. They are overwhelmed with remorse for being dishonest, not just in the things they said or did, but in the way they presented themselves to you. Perhaps they wore masks, concealed their true feelings, or created emotional distance as a form of self-protection. Now, that dishonesty feels like a heavy burden. They are beginning to realize that by hiding their true self or manipulating the narrative, they didn't just hurt you, they also sabotaged their own chance at real, lasting love. Despite all this emotional turmoil, something within them is shifting. For the first time in a long while, they want to fight for this love. They want to show up authentically, without masks or manipulation. They want to stand tall and say, "I see it now. I see what you were offering me, and I don't want to lose it." There is a desire building within them, a longing not just for your presence, but for redemption, for another chance to make things right. They are beginning to feel a strong urge to communicate, to lay their heart bare and express everything they've been feeling and experiencing. These aren't just fleeting thoughts, they are heartfelt desires for healing and reconnection. Above all, they miss your love. They miss the way your presence used to calm their inner storms, how your words offered comfort, and how your belief in them gave them the courage to face life's challenges. Without you, life feels heavier, more chaotic, and less meaningful. They now realize how much of their strength came from knowing you were by their side. Your love wasn't just emotional, it was transformative. It gave them hope, purpose, and a sense of belonging. Now, they are longing not only for your attention but for your warmth, your care, and your light. They want to feel seen and held by you again. They're hoping for a moment to reconnect, to explain, to apologize, and to begin the hard but necessary journey of rebuilding the love they once took for granted. In their heart, they know the road ahead may not be easy, but they are finally ready to take the first step, if you'll allow them to.